But my beats, they are hard.
All right, hello, welcome to another live edition of the BCSN SportsWrap. Getting ready to conclude season number 8. It's Bryan and A.D. Drew live on Sunday night, doing what we love to do this time of the year. Getting about 4 weeks away, 4 weekends, Drew. Actually, less than now that it's Sunday, we can say less than 4 weeks away from the start of the football season. Now, little show reminder, always mute or silence your phone before the show goes live, Bryan. Just, you'd think I would know that after 8 years of doing this, but every now and then this happens. What's up, Drew? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man, as we bring another season of the BCSN SportsWrap? Almost said the HBCU. They got a lot of people getting names and acronyms incorrect lately, so we are on the Black College Sports Network, right?
We are.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Which is part of the Jericho Broadcast Network's JBN. So obviously those of you watching us on the My JBN Online YouTube feed, of course, the Jericho Broadcast Network is the parent company of the Black College Sports Network. But you could also be watching us on Twitter, Instagram Live, which is back. So we're back. Say hello to everybody watching on Instagram Live. Of course, Facebook feeds, whether it be the Black College Sports Network Facebook or the BCSN SportsWrap Facebook feed or YouTube. So we got a plethora of ways to watch the show live, or you might be one of the great people who watch us in podcast replay format, which all of those platforms, as well as the BCSN Pod Zone, everywhere that you listen to podcasts is where you can find that show. Drew. So season number 8, all the media days I think most of the media days are done. The primary ones that most of us pay attention to, the CIAA, the SIAC, the MEAC, the SWAC, and then you've got the other HBCUs that play in non-HBCU centric leagues,
Hold that one, Zach. Hold that one.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on. Well, Bryan, maybe Zach can help us out, but I'm gonna let you come on with your intro and see if Zach can help us out.
Well, go ahead. I think I've gotten all the plugs out of the way, Drew. So fire away with your questions to Zach.
Zach, you're one of the respected football brains around here, especially on the HBCU level. And for the life of me, Zach, and anybody else out there listening to us, I have been trying to figure out what town North Carolina A&M is in.
Is that somewhere between Greensboro and Raleigh? Is that like some town in there, right in the middle, kind of next to Hillman? Is it next to Hillman anywhere?
Bryan, what was the college in school days? You remember? I can't remember what that was.
Wasn't it Atlanta A&T or something?
That was Drumline. Drumline was Atlanta A&T.
Oh, okay. So what movie are you referring to?
What was the college? Oh, Steve got our location for us.
I have no idea where that is, but Steve being from North Carolina, he would know.
He would know. I need somebody from North Carolina to help me locate it and help me find some alums of North Carolina A&M. But help me out. What was the college and school days? I can't remember. Thank you.
Mission College. Oh, well, of course, because we know what Mission College was based off of and who it was based off of, right?
Exactly. But, and we'll get into this. Bryan, we should have added this in. This is another bonus. Mission College, Atlanta A&T, Hillman,
yep,
and Brinkston.
Ooh, hold on, Brinkston. What show?
All American Homecoming.
Oh, see, I don't watch All American. I know my students do. My students, they love that All American stuff.
All American Homecoming are actually fictional colleges. Everybody.
You know what? I bet you, Drew. I bet if we go out, this has got to be part of the game time. We have got to be able to go asking people. We got to do something where we add in, is this an HBCU or not? And then we have to go like 4 or 5 names from schools that people may not be familiar with, right? Because there are how many? 106 HBCUs?
7.
See, look at that. I closed somebody down. Didn't even know it.
Where they doing it on their own. They don't need your help.
So we got to, obviously there's a plethora of 50 or 60 that we're familiar with because of athletics, but there's a bunch out there. I bet we could really do a great contest out on the street. And if I see any of you other podcasters, media people doing this, I'm going to cuss you when I see you. Don't steal this idea. This idea here is idea right here. BCSN SportsWrap, game time. Don't steal this idea.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Steve dropping some knowledge on us.
What?
The actual name of A&T was Agriculture Mechanical School for the Negro race.
Okay, now that brings me to part 2 of the trivia. Going back to current schools, what was the original inaugural name of the school? Because there are many schools that had names that would blow people away today.
Well, the first thing in common with most of our schools, we were normal.
Either normal, Negro, or colored.
Yes,
was
or,
predominantly
sometimes 2 of the 3.
Yes, exactly. That name was probably what initially was a part of the inaugural name for many schools. Yeah. So but that's a and I know our as we talk about game time shows, of course, one of the things that's coming up this upcoming football season will be the BCSN game time show, and that'll be a great contest that we can do when we get out on the road, is to say, do you know your HBCU history, and start just is this an HBCU or is it not? Real or fake? Real HBCU, fake HBCU.
On the fake HBCU, Bryan, true story. This was about 3-4 weeks ago. I had to go get a tire repaired on my truck. So I pulled to a tire shop in the West End of Atlanta, not too far from Morehouse's campus. And I happened to have on a Hillman t-shirt.
Right.
I just because I'm always going to wear something HBCU related. If I'm not going to wear Morehouse, I'm going to wear something generic HBCU, SIAC. But on this particular day, I decided to wear a Hillman t-shirt. And to a man, Bryan, and everybody out there, this lady asked me, African-American lady, probably in her late 60s, early 70s, asked me, where is that at? I looked down because it's the colors are the same colors as Morehouse with the maroon and white. And I looked down and realized I had on a Hillman shirt, not a Morehouse shirt that day. And I had to tell her, "Oh, that was the fictional college. Did you ever watch Different World?"
Hillman, a founding member of the CIA. Exactly. Yes, indeed. And while you mentioned Hillman, definitely rest in peace to the late Malcolm Jamal Warner. A sad week for I'm going to say icons and legends in the world of entertainment. As they say they come in threes, Drew. And we saw early in the week, we got the news, sadly, about Malcolm Jamal Warner. Then the next day came news that rock and roll legend Ozzy Osbourne died. And then probably, I don't think it was Wednesday, but I think it was Thursday, you got the news that wrestling icon Hulk Hogan had died.
I've got mixed feelings about Hulk Hogan.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Let's start with Jamal Warner. Because I think for you and me, we associate him primarily with the character Theo Huxtable. And what I think we think about when we think about Theo Huxtable, I know for me, now I can't speak for everybody, but if you were a young Black teenager, male, who grew up, and I'm curious to find out about if you didn't grow up like this, if you related to Theo. Growing up in a two-parent home, B, middle class, college educated parents, and had siblings, right? I identified so much with the character Theo Huxtable, growing up in that. Now, I get it. There may be people who didn't grow up. But for me, seeing Theo grow up and then kind of going back and seeing all of the different episodes as people on Twitter and Instagram, they start putting up, different video clips. That was a beautiful time to reminisce. And I know he had a distinguished career afterwards, even won an Emmy, but his legacy was always defined, I think, by the character Theo Huxtable. How did it relate for you, Drew? How did Theo relate to you?
It didn't.
Okay.
Because I did not grow up in a two-parent household.
Okay.
I grew up in I have a very nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad has a set of kids. My mom has kids. But those two do not mingle, as they say, as far as commonality. I have relationships with all of my brothers and sisters. But do have a brother who's 12 years younger than me, who grew up in the same household. So, that really wasn't related, because essentially I grew up as an only child, because by the time he was anything, I'm in high school, he's going to nursery school and daycare and pre-K and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I literally go off to college when my younger brother goes to first grade. So
right. Wow.
So essentially we grew up as two single
children.
So although some of the experiences he had, I could relate as far as with cousins and everything like that. I was the only male on my block until I got to high school. Mm-hmm. So dealing with females through those formative years, I could relate to that. But, but still, it's Theo, man. It's Theo. And now the other thing, the style, the fashion style that he had during that time, as a like Mel, who was only a year or two younger than him, you tried to emulate people like that because he was one of the few African Americans, especially in our age class, that we saw on TV, if not the only one at that point in time.
Yeah. Let me ask this. A great thought here, Jeremiah, because hold on. Don't put that up yet. Right. Start that one. We'll get to Hogan in a second. I want to finish with Jamal Warner, Malcolm here. Favorite episode featuring Malcolm Jamal Warner. Great question, Jeremiah. I got two that popped in. I love the fact that Edwin put one of them up. So what's your? I'll let you go first, Drew. Give me a favorite episode or moment.
What was it? The Gordon Gartrell shirt?
Oh, the Gordon Gartrell shirt, the fashion shirt that Denise tried to replicate, which was hot garbage.
Which was a hot mess.
Woo, I wish I had a picture. That thing, hang that thing in the Louvre. I don't know if it was the fact that the sleeves weren't even, or the fact that the
pockets were lopsided.
Man, that one got me.
And my other one was the one when he's pretending like he's listening to the music in the headphones. And Cliff unplugs the headphones and is talking about you listen to basically to the rocks in your head and everything.
Look, so as much as I love Justine, I mean that was bum, you know, that and he was like, no, you got to sound like a hurt dog. That killed me. But the two things, because I felt like oftentimes my father was like a Cliff Huxtable, right? I'll never forget when Cliff told Theo one time, I brought you in this world.
I'll take you out. That hit home. That hit home. I was like, damn. And I swear my father used that line on me one time. And I think he was dead serious about that too. And then the other one that got me was the earring episode. When his ear got infected.
Bro, I saw that because this was back when Jordan was rocking the earring. So
and when we only wore one earring,
this is one. Nowadays kids get two, and they get them in high school. That blows me away because I saw that episode and I was like, yo, the way Cliff is, I was like, I just remember my parents, we watching that episode together, and I remember my mom looking over at me. You bet not one of them Claire Huxtable. You better not never get your ears pierced as long as you in this house. I was like, no, ma'am. I didn't even know where to get an ear pierced at, Drew.
The mall, man.
Look, I just knew I wasn't. Look, my mom, I didn't want to lose an ear. So you know what I did? Sure enough, the day I went off to college. Now remember, I grew up in where? Indianapolis,
right?
And went to Tallahassee. I knew I was far enough away that the first semester. Guess what I did when I went to the mall, Tallahassee Mall, Drew?
Same thing I did.
Got my ear pierced. And dare my mama to say anything when I came home for Thanksgiving. Because why? Because I'm a grown man in college. Boy, oh man. Let me see. Any other good one? Anyone else? Any other good? Those were the two that stuck out to me. And I know a lot of you. And nowadays it trips me out because so many high school kids, and I tell my kids all the time, whether it's our basketball players or whoever else, I see them with their ears pierced, and I'm like, man, y'all don't even know, man. I had to wait till I got away from home and snuck off to college before I can get my ears pierced.
Brian, you forgot I was doing elementary before I went back to Morehouse College. They had them in elementary school.
Jeez, yeah. Man, that was some stuff. And the Ozzy Osbourne thing might not hit with a lot of people unless you were one of those folks who grew up watching MTV. And if you watched MTV, that show about the Osbournes was really kind of the first for people who weren't into heavy metal. You probably didn't know about the Osbourne, and that was one of the first reality shows that I think right after The Real World, where it kind of opened up people's eyes into, hey, this is family. This is a family life. Was that Not Going to College episode?
Oh yeah, he wanted to be a regular person.
Oh yes. I remember that one.
Good one, Doc. Good one.
So yeah, that was that. And then you mentioned the Hulk Hogan one passing. Now, I still see the Hulk Hogan that was the Hulk, the one you grew up on. When you're first getting into wrestling, for me, it was Hogan. The music, just everything that Hogan was, eat your cereal, and the hey brother and all that stuff, all that. The later Hogan years, like after the last 15
NWO
years.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, the NWO, like that Hogan was, I still say to this day, Hogan next to The Rock was probably one of the 2 or 3 most iconic wrestlers because they popularized a niche sport. I think Hogan, with his cartoons and just the movies, he took wrestling to another level, almost the same way that I think The Rock re-energized wrestling. And so I know the stuff later in life, there's things that he said, there's people will say maybe, I don't know whether you agree or not. People might say he was racist. I don't know. But all I know is I remember the Hogan that I grew up loving to watch. And you'd stay up late night on a Saturday night. Remember those, Drew? When you stay up late night on Saturday after the news because you wanted to watch Saturday Night Wrestling? And
yeah.
So that's the Hogan that I remember. And all the other stuff is kind of like this an old what does Doc say? He lost a lot of those comments that he made. He lost a lot of people who grew up like myself and probably you and others who grew up. And look, we'll never know if he harbored and had those kind of thoughts when he was younger. I don't know, but it's a quick example of how a legacy can be tarnished and ruined. So yeah, with Blue Guys, he sounded very racist, and that was in the privacy of his home. I'm not here to debate whether he was or wasn't. I'm just going off of when I talk about what a crazy week this week was in terms of the people who
passed.
Who passed on.
Right now, I will say this, Ryan. I was probably more into Ric Flair than I was into Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Just because the National Wrestling Alliance came on more in my area than WWF did at that time. WWF before it became WWE. For those who may not
see, I wasn't familiar with it. I wasn't familiar with it until much later.
Yeah, but even still, the Hulkamaniacs and WrestleMania 3 and everything like that, we defeated Andre the Giant and all that. Yeah, grew up with that and the ripping of the shirt. And, the act.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The act. But all of that got turned off when, as you start hearing the other things that came out.
You'll never put it like this.
And here's my thing. If he said it, fine.
Well, you said
problem. No problem. You said it. I applaud you for saying it, for putting it out there. Because I'd rather deal with the person who I know versus the person who called me the N-word behind my back. At least you called it to me in my face. Now I know what I'm dealing with. So I can respect it. I don't have to like it, but I can respect it. You have your opinion, I have mine. So
it's what age?
I'm still waiting on some people to grow out of it, Jeremiah.
I think there were 2 phases in which I grew out of wrestling. I think one phase was about my junior year of high school, which would have been about 1990. And then I kind of grew back into it again in college. Because what I found is when you got to college, you had a lot of free time. A lot of free time, right? And wasn't that about the time when the NWO started coming out and when that was like the mid-90s, 94, 95?
Right.
Yeah, so that was in college with a lot of free time on my hand.
I lost my interest in wrestling, honestly, when WCW went away.
Okay.
That was it for me, because even though you knew both of them were fake, WCW seemed to have some type of authenticity to it. You didn't have to worry about trying to keep up with the soap opera storylines as you had to do with WWE, then WWE, as it wound up being. But when WCW went away off of Turner, because the one thing you had with Turner, you had access. It was on 3-4 nights a week on Turner.
Yeah.
Between all the Turner family of networks, TBS, TNT, USA, etc., etc., etc. But that's kind of when I lost it, because I just was never a fan of WWF, then WWE.
Yeah. And then I think there was another segment when I kind of grew out of it when I first moved into the real world, but I came back because I started working for a radio station. And I'll never forget, I got a chance to go to a Monday Night Raw in Orlando in this would have been the fall of 98. And this was The Rock, Stone Cold. And I'm telling you, Drew, I had to that point, I had never been in an arena so loud. I was down on the floor I'm still debating on who had the larger cheer in 98. Was it The Rock or was it when the glass shattered and Stone Cold came out? And I might have had a few drinks in me, and there might have been a few woos. There might have been a few woos going on. There might have been a few finger pointings to the sky. I don't know, man. This was my younger days, and I was hanging with some radio people. And you know, radio salespeople, they crazy. Especially at night when they're doing promotions. And so I'll never forget going to see a WWE Raw, or I think it was maybe F, I don't know. But when I look at it on TV, I have flashbacks. And I'm like, if you've never attended a Monday Night Raw back in the day, it's even today, it still looks like they jump off. Like, you know, but I mean, man, everything that I saw on TV, Drew, it was amplified live. So, and then after that, once I left the radio business, Drew, I kind of, you know, I watch from the background, and, you know, I occasionally see something on Twitter that sparks a bit of nostalgia in me, but, you know, I don't follow it like some folks still follow it. No, you know. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Wow. So I don't even know what we're going to talk about today, Drew. We can go down the memory road all day. I know one of the things we talked about the MEAC Media Day in terms of memory road.
We've gone on a total off script.
Let's get into the first break of the show and come back and get into what we learned, if anything, from the MEAC Media Days and the media days for North Carolina A&T and Hampton. I make sure I say that right, because I don't want to.
You sure you didn't mean Howard?
Well, look, Hampton got more coverage on Tuesday than they got on Thursday. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna put a pin on it, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it on the other side. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back.
Hold on, Bryan.
Yeah,
gotta do it right. Gotta get 2 claps on Ric Flair as we go to break.
There we go.
Woo!
There's a shot.
Shot that might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN SportsWrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN SportsWrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina Central, and representing the SWAC, Southern, Eagles, Jaguars, the Marching Sound Machine, the Human Jukebox. The kickoff trophy is up for grabs, and bragging rights are on the line. The rivalry is real. Bring the family and join us pre-game for the fun-filled Coca-Cola fan experience, including band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D. Drew here, ready to kind of pick up from, the last segment and really pick up and finish off the MEAC Football Media Day and the media days for North Carolina A&T and Hampton. I do want to put in the chat. I'm going to see if how quickly I can add a poll, because I'm curious, Drew. I want to know how many of our listening audience members are ready to attend the MEAC SWAC Challenge. So while we're talking this, Drew, let me start a poll here. This is just informal. Will you just want to see something? Will you be attending the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta? Real simple poll. If you are right there on MyJBN Online, there it is. Will you be attending the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta? Just kind of curious to see how much of our listening audience will be. Okay, let's get into it, Drew. You were there. I know you got a few visuals. Why don't you go ahead and hit some of those up? Since you were in the house, in the Heezy, M&T Bank Stadium, home of the Baltimore Ravens. What were your impressions of the stadium, Drew? Was that first off, was that your first time at M&T Stadium?
No, it was not.
It wasn't. Okay.
It was my first time in the area that we held the presser at, but it was not my first time in the stadium.
Okay. What was your impressions? And again, I know you and Dr. Cavill and Charles Bishop may have you guys did talk about.
Oh, we talked about it. I thought you said Bishop was there.
No. I was just going to say you guys talked about it on Thursday's episode. So, some of you may have already heard Drew's comments, but for the purposes of our show, I just wanted to kind of go back and get kind of your thoughts on the layout and the setup of, because again, 6 teams. And just so kind of just let people know the timeline on when things started and how they kind of ran theirs and then kind of juxtapose it against the SWAC.
MEAC press conference, MEAC Media Day. It was scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. Eastern time. They got started around 9:15-ish with everything. They do a different format than the SWAC. All of the media interviews and one-on-ones and everything that you do, you have to get those out of the way before 11:30. So they let you go straight into the media session. Then they do the TV, the TV portion of it, which was from 12 to 2 there. And the TV portion was done on a different level. They had a shot, and a lot of you guys saw it. They were overlooking the field. Probably in the broadcast booth, they just turned the camera and everything, turned the set around so that they were shooting with the field in the backdrop, which was great visuals that they had everything up on the scoreboard so that you constantly saw the scroll of the teams and the conference and everything else. For those of y'all who paid attention to the little subliminal stuff like that. Loved the format because with 6 teams, Brian, and I mentioned this on Thursday, you get an opportunity to be able to engage in a little bit more of a conversation that you can at the SWAC. Number one, there were not as many media outlets at the MEAC as there are normally at the SWAC. So that helps. Everybody's in one area with the media session, unlike the SWAC, which has a radio role and a media role, in addition to the main area where you do the stage, as we call it. So they did it a little bit different. They took the players upstairs to Tiffany and Jay, while they kept the coaches downstairs in our area. And they were offset just a little bit from where we were, where you saw
the pre-recording.
No,
pre-recording the conversations with Jay and Tiffany.
No, these were live. They were going back and forth between upstairs and downstairs, the production people.
Okay.
So, and then the stuff with the coaches, the Shady McCoy interviews were downstairs where we were at.
So let me ask this. Did you find it odd? Because that's the complete opposite of how the SWAC, where Jay and Tiffany would talk. Yeah, I almost said something. I was almost saying Jay and Tiffany would talk to the adults. Jay and Tiffany would talk to the coaches,
and then the sideline person,
and I love Simone, so I don't mean to disparage. Hopefully, you don't feel that way, but I'm just saying, Simone Stanley would talk to the players,
correct?
Almost in the same role where maybe Shady McCoy, because he is a player, former player, right?
Right.
Like he might have been better served talking to the players because he's been them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm curious who and why the decision was made to have Shady talk to the coaches, something he's never been, to my knowledge, and Jay and Tiffany talk to the players. Did you find that odd, or am I the first one kind of processing that in such a way?
I never thought about it like that, the way you're presenting it. So it's not as odd. It's just a different format, Brian. You can't, and maybe the reason that they're doing that because they are not the SWAC. They do not want to be the SWAC, so they want to have some type. So they want to have some type of distinction from the SWAC. Even as something simple as that during the broadcast.
They got that. All right. They sure got that. Before we get into, agree 100%. Yeah.
Did you see this comment, Brian?
I was gonna wait. Okay, so since Ruse Greenwood brought that up, I too like the format where the coaches almost in a press conference, and I've seen this now with the Big 12, I've seen it with the ACC, I didn't see the Sun Belt, where the coach will get up and he will kind of give an opening comment statement, right? And then he'll field maybe 10 minutes worth of questions, 10 or 15-minute questions from the press junket. And it's all being recorded. So you obviously will have the individual media reporters that will get a chance to ask questions. And it's only the coach that's up there, while probably you've got the players milling around talking to video people. I like that format. I really do, because it get like, let's just take, for example, the people, the SWAC individuals, media, working press, they get a chance to ask questions. Whereas, I don't know, I just feel like the organization of that style is more conducive to giving everybody a chance to hear from and talk to the coach. Like, for example, Drew, with our coverage of the SWAC, I took note. I took a running tally of how many coaches we talked to. We only had 7 of the 12 head coaches that we had a chance to speak to when we did our SWAC, and that's about on par. We rarely get to all 12.
We've never gotten all 12.
Never gotten all 12. And I know Steve is in the room. I'd love to know, did Steve get, what was the number that Steve got? Jeremiah is in the room. How many did he get? You know what I'm saying? I'd love to hear from the media folk. Zach, Zach was in the chat room earlier. How many of you guys got the chance to talk to all 12? Or did you get to at least 10 or 2/3 even? That's 8, right? And I think that kind of format would be more conducive to talking to the media. Now, again, I think you end up with longer, like, I don't know how many days was the Sun Belt. I know that the larger conferences will split up. I've been an advocate talking about splitting up the SWAC into 2 days, or at least an evening and a following day morning session. That's kind of what I've been pushing and talking about the last 2 years. But yeah, I'd prefer that style compared to what I've seen. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
All right. The predicted order of finish. The only thing that surprised me was that Norfolk State was not 5th. I thought Delaware State would be predicted 6th. They were. Howard was 5th, predicted 5th. Norfolk State predicted 4th. Morgan State predicted 3rd. North Carolina Central predicted 2nd. South Carolina State predicted 1st. Now, the other thing that was surprising is that everybody, now again, you get athletic directors or SIDs and coaches doing the vote, right? 2 representatives from each school. I was surprised to see that everybody got a first place vote except Morgan State.
But
yes, but
don't ask me.
Big B, no pun intended. Morgan State ended up with the preseason offensive player of the year, Jason Collins Jr., a running back, and the defensive player of the year, Eric Hunter. But there's another big B, double asterisk, Drew, because Jason Collins Jr. was the second team running back. Wasn't even the first team. The first team running backs were Kevon King of Norfolk State and Eden James of HU. That would be Howard University, right? I don't understand. I'm thrown off by all of that. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard and seen. You were there. How does anybody explain that, Drew? Help me out.
Brian, I've seen that happen before for a postseason award.
Ooh, well, yeah.
And this was 2017, 2018 in the SIAC. I can't remember who the quarterback was at Tuskegee at that point in time, but he won the Offensive Player of the Year in the conference and did not make either team.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember who that quarterback, who was playing quarterback at that point in time.
Is that as bad as the defending conference player of the year? Not even though he switched schools, not being the preseason offensive player of the year, even though he's still in the conference.
That was a gaffe because somebody didn't put in the fact that he had switched schools last year.
Oh my God, jeez Louise! Somebody messed up the vote on that. Huh?
No, you can't vote who's not nominated.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. So he wasn't on the nomination ballot.
Correct.
I'm just amazed at how that worked. And then when I go and look at the first team offensive players, again, South Carolina State predicted first. Not one South Carolina State player is on the first team offense. In fact, North Carolina Central had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the possible, 11? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, because they give them 2 running backs and 2 receivers and a tight end. So North Carolina Central, who again, their quarterback, Walker Harris, redshirt senior from Wake Forest, North Carolina, he was the first team offensive quarterback. Johnny Thornton loves that, right? So they somehow, and let me see, and then when I go and look at defense, first team defense, South Carolina State has 1 on defense. North Carolina Central has 3. Morgan State has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, they include some special teams guys along with the defense, but very odd, very, very odd. I mean, I don't. You brought up an interesting. Go
ahead.
You brought up something very comparative with these preseason polls compared to last year, Drew.
Oh, as far as the predicted order finish, it was chalk, man. It was 100% chalk.
Based on last year's
finish.
Right.
And when you look at the SWAC, the SWAC was
similar.
Not what? What's 10 out of 12? 83%?
83, yeah.
83% chalk. The only thing they got flipped in the SWAC was Prairie View and Texas Southern.
Mm-hmm. And Texas Southern is the one who had the coach who was coming back, didn't have a new coach, but somehow Prairie View ended up
because of the hype around Tremaine Jackson.
So I don't know. I guess in short, what we're trying to say, folks, is don't make too much of a. I'm not going to make too much of it. I will go back to the hill that I was on about 3 weeks ago. There's no need for the conferences to have predicted order finishes. There really is.
What was that, Big 12?
They weren't the only ones. There was another Conference USA also didn't do predicted order finish. Let media entities take care of that. MEAC and SWAC and what did we see in the CIAA and the SIC? Drew, weren't they? The SIC was the only one that was a bit different from last year's finish, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Miles finished at the top last year. They are predicted 4. Albany State, who ironically was predicted at the top last year, was predicted at the top again this year.
And I guess the biggest thing is if schools and if these schools don't see these rosters and you got so much turnover happening, it's really hard to predict outside of what you saw last year. And so I don't know. I guess,
which is why, because of this roster turnover, just let it be.
Yeah.
Just let it be.
Why is Johnny trying to say I would be livid if North Carolina Central? Johnny's trying to start. He's trying to start something, Drew, because I will say this. You have said this, and I said that. The school that has the best returning quarterback in the MEAC is North Carolina Central, right? That we know of. We've seen, we know what we've seen from Walker Harris compared to Jayshon Scroggins. I'm not sure. I think the other quarterbacks, the other 4 quarterbacks in the MEAC are all new. So of the 2, I think Walker Harris seems to have better credentials than Scroggins. I mean, he beat him head to head, if nothing else. So, I mean,
I always favor the team that has a returning head coach and a returning quarterback, especially at the early part of the season. But I say that the MEAC is in a little bit of a different position than every other conference, Brian, because they start their conference season so late, where everybody else has a conference game in the month of September, where you need that experienced quarterback. So in the MEAC, even if you don't have an experienced quarterback, by the time you get to the conference season, that quarterback already has 5, 6, 7 games under his belt. So you can make up for it in the MEAC.
Yeah.
So Central out the gate would be who you would go for based on that theory. But Brian, it's kind of hard to go against a coach that has won 25 consecutive conference games over 2 schools and 2 conferences, 27 in a row if you count his 2 championship games. And I'm talking about Coach Chennis Berry with his run at Benedict and his run at SC State. Yes. I'm just saying it's kind of hard until somebody beats him. You have to give him the benefit of the doubt, Brian.
So South Carolina State went. I'm sorry, I should know this. They went unbeaten last year, correct?
They went unbeaten last year.
So he has not lost a conference game since
21.
Okay.
Let me go over this again. He won his last 3 SIAC games in 21. Went 8-0 in 22. 9-0 if you count the championship game. Went 8-0 again in 23. 9-0 if you count the championship game. And went 5-0 last year. So that's either 25 or 27, depending on if you want to count those championship games.
Ooh, some folks in the MEAC, Drew, they're not gonna count them 2 years in the lower in the JV level. as some folks might choose to look at it, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. Let's come to another before we come out of the MEAC conversation. Let me bring up another thing that you and I talked about, and I'm curious because we do have some MEAC fans watching, listening in the chats. The MEAC only plays 5 conference games. Okay, now. That means in a 12-game world, and again, 12 is max, doesn't mean you have to play 12, but even if it's an 11-game schedule that you play, the majority of your games are non-conference games. Do MEAC fans really care, or would they like to see more conference games played? Meaning, what would the MEAC look like if the MEAC played 8 games, where you played 5 teams, and then 3 of those 5 you played twice?
True home and home.
True a home and home for at least 3 of those. That still leaves you in this new world. It still leaves you with 4 non-conference games, right?
Which leaves you your money game,
right?
Leaves you your D2 rival.
Sure.
And leaves you 2 other FCS games.
Right. 2 other, maybe a classic or something like that, right? And I kept it at the 8 because I when we were talking about it, I mentioned what if they did 10, where they played home and home. Everybody played twice. And then what did you tell me?
That leaves 2 games. That leaves a money game and a D2 game.
But it would also, you thought that it would eliminate.
It would kill any chance of your second place team being able to get to the playoffs.
Okay, maybe. What if the second place team went 9-1 though? First place. What if first place went 10-0, second place went 9-1? You still leaving them out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the strength of schedule will be crappy. Think about it, Brian. If you played 10 conference games and you played no other FCS conference, where would that conference rating be at when it comes to playoff time? Because you have no outside competition to gauge your conference against, especially if everybody uses their formula of FBS and Division II for those last 2 games.
Let's see. I know Zach. I think Zach is a voter. I'm curious to hear what Zach's thoughts are. Thank you, Blue Jacket, for thinking about my idea. I don't know which one of those 2 ideas you like, but we can't have 9 wins with over half of those being over the same teams, including Delaware State. So there you go. There's your okay. So let me ask this,
which is my strength of schedule argument.
What if we were talking about this, and again, I'm asking MEAC fans, right? Because I think sometimes we want to see the MEAC do things that we see the SWAC doing, and we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that to the MEAC. I think we have to let. I don't know if 16. I don't know where 6 teams are just randomly going to fall out the sky and join the MEAC, folks. I don't even know where Brian, 4 teams are coming.
Brian, I'd be happy with 2. Just give me 2.
Okay, I don't even know where they're coming. Where are those 2 coming from, Drew?
Give me 2 7 conference games.
Okay, but I don't know where those 2 are coming from because the 2 that everybody kind of keeps talking about wanting to see, they seem pretty. They seem pretty satisfied drinking the ice over there. So let's look at this. We were talking about how advantageous would it be for the MEAC to partner with another conference for 3 games? Okay. How about, so again, not necessarily taken away from the MEAC championship of 5, but to improve for scheduling purposes, to improve those conference ratings. What would it look like if, and I'm just looking at FCS conferences here, right? The teams that have small numbers. The only ones that I come across the Patriot Conference, which the Patriot Conference has 7 schools, which means that's 6 conference games, right? Mm-hmm. So in a 12-game world, if you're able to create a relationship that would deal with 2 to 3 MEAC or 2 to 3 Patriot opponents, would that be beneficial for scheduling purposes? How about the NEC? Now, the NEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've got 8 schools, which means they play 7. Uh-oh. Well, there goes that. There goes that, Zach. Richmond, Villanova, and William Mary, all former CAA. Yes, okay. So there goes that partner. So, okay, there goes that. I've talked about the NEC. 1, 2, and I think MEAC schools are playing.
They're
NEC
playing Patriot.
Schools.
They're playing NEC. They're playing OVC Big South schools already, Brian.
Okay. All right. I'm just, I don't.
The MEAC, here's the advantage the MEAC has. The MEAC will always have a better chance of getting their number 2 to the FCS playoffs than the SWAC's number 2 would ever have. Because if the MEAC's number 2 handles its business outside of the conference, they will have a good enough strength of schedule to get that at large.
But don't you think that's going to change given the 12-game format? Because it leaves 4 non-conference opponents for SWAC schools.
The key is you only have right now. I think you don't have to get 9 to 10 in order to. It's probably gonna move to 10, but you really still only have to get those 9 to 10 games in on the FCS level because all they count is your FCS games when they look at
they don't count the D2s. They don't count the FBS.
Correct. They don't count the NAIAs if you play NAIA.
All right. Okay. Let's quickly jump over to
exactly. Depends on who they play and they beat.
The last part.
If you've got 5 FCS games non-conference, I'm giving you FBS, I'm giving you a D2, and you go 4-1 in those games, and go 4-1 in the MEAC with your MEAC champion going 5-0, your chances are going to be good that you're going to get at large.
Okay. Pull up EA's comments because hold on before you go to Zach. Pull up EA's for a second. I would disagree with you, EA, from the standpoint of, I know SWAC championship game rematches. I don't have the data, but I will say, let's just say if the SWAC were to go away from divisions, and if you had a Jackson State FAMU game in the regular season, and those two schools ended up being the top 2 teams having to play for a championship game, you don't think that would draw as much or more than the first meeting?
Here's the other thing, Brian, and I'm thinking about the rematches that we've had in the SWAC championship game. They've all been in the same place. Where the regular season game was scheduled, the championship game was also in the same venue.
Yeah, you're right.
Jackson State, where Jackson State is hosted. Last year they hosted Southern. And FAMU, when they hosted Prairie View, they hosted Prairie View in the regular season and the championship game. So we don't know what it looks like in the SWAC when the opposite school hosts the championship game. That may change. Yeah, you're right. I would not. If the Rattlers, even though that was a total different circumstance because there was weather in the area the day Prairie View came in, but a lot of people weren't interested in seeing that game again.
Let me see. Adrian Crook says pre-99, people waited on the Bayou Classic to see who played in the SWAC championship game. Well, yeah, I mean that obviously because Grambling and Southern had an impact, and I think they still do, don't they? Every year, almost, it seems like Grambling and Southern, in some form or fashion, has an impact on who's going to come out of the West.
Zach brings up a good point, and I'm glad he brought that out because I forgot that. The Ivy League is coming in now. They're taking their automatic, so that takes away another at-large. And like Zach also said, if things play out like they should, you've got the SWAC number 1 and number 2 going against each other in the championship game, except for those rare years where you had FAMU and Jackson State, who in theory were the 1-2s in the conference. But last year, it was just like it was the last 2 years. It's been like it's supposed to be with the 1 out the East and the 2 out the West, or vice versa.
Okay. Let's quickly pivot here to we'll come back to more MEAC talk maybe later, obviously. But I wanted to jump over real quick, give a brief mention to the last 2 Division I HBCUs to have their football media day, and that was North Carolina A&T and Hampton as part of the CAA. And the CAA is a conference that, as I was doing the research and just looking at the history of where Hampton and North Carolina A&T have finished, of course, Hampton has been in the CAA for the last 3 seasons, North Carolina A&T the last 2 seasons. The number of teams in the conference for now the fourth consecutive year has fluctuated from 13 teams in 2022 to 15 teams in 2023, 16 teams last year, and this year the CAA will have 14 teams. Okay. Now,
13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay.
Right. What has been consistent, though, is the actual finish of Hampton and North Carolina A&T over the past 3 seasons. It has been in the bottom third or bottom fourth, depending upon what metric you want to use. If you want to say bottom quarter, okay, less than 20, whatever. You can do it that way. In 22, Hampton finished 12th out of 13. In 23, when A&T joined Hampton, Hampton actually finished 11th out of 15. A&T finished 14th out of 15. Last year, Hampton finished 12th out of 16. And, of course, we know A&T finished tied for last, or technically last. I don't know, however you want to.
Tied for 15th.
tied for last. Well, if you went by overall record, they would win the tiebreaker of worst team because they only had 1 win, and I think the team who finished ahead of them in the tiebreaker actually had 2 wins.
And that 1 win was a D2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve.
That's all right. So what was each school's predicted order this year, you might ask? Damn, I thought I had that pulled up. Did you have that pulled up?
They were, no, I didn't, but they were predicted at the bottom.
Yeah, I think they were predicted. How many schools did I say again for this year?
14.
14. Yeah, I think they were predicted. Oh, and I'm going to apologize if I have it wrong because I thought I had this information saved. I think they were predicted 13th and 14th. So
whoever gets the win doesn't finish in last.
They do play each other this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's like week 3 or week 4.
Okay. Well, there you go. I don't have much to.
Here we go.
Okay. A&T was 14th of 14. Jamie. Okay. Look, that even comes from Jamie Walker, North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride. There you go. Hampton was 11th. Okay. Hampton was 11th. Okay. Thank you guys for clarifying that. But again, that was based off of very much the finish from last year,
the previous year.
The minus the 2 schools who left. Minus the 2 schools who left. Minus the 2 schools who left. You pretty much almost have the same order as a year ago. Both schools, Hampton doesn't have a new coach. Technically, more of a coach on a permanent basis. Of course, we know A&T has Sean Gibbs coming over from Fort Valley State, former assistant coach in the Broadway era. And, he's looking to rejuvenate that program. I guess we're just going to have to sit and wait and see. I can't even make a bold. I don't even feel comfortable making a bold prediction, Drew. I'm going to trust the Aggies in the room and see what they say. And the Pirates. And the Pirates. We got some Pirates in the room. So I'm going to trust what their eyes say. There's zero argument for A&T to be any higher.
That's our FCS expert right there.
Yeah, I don't, what do you have coming back? What do you got other than Sean Gibbs bringing back the original recipe, the Colonel's original recipe? He's bringing that back. Other than that, I don't know what else is coming back to A&T.
Coca-Cola Classic.
Exactly. It's like Coca-Cola Classic has returned to A&T.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. We got we got one Aggie out there who's not delusional. Even though Brian, he may be directionally challenged when he's trying to go find that rival game at A&M.
Ooh, ouch. All right. Let's take another break.
Wait, as we go on break, Brian, everybody needs to go get their pen and their paper because we're about to go to school. I need y'all to at Shady McCoy, at Cam Newton. We got some notes that they need to be taken down, and anybody else who's going to be covering HBCU sports, especially for the first time. Just a few tips from us at the Black College Sports Network that you may want to research and know before you get on the air and talk HBCU sports.
Well said.
Get
Great
your
tease,
notepads
Drew.
ready.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
History? Yeah, we built that. Pride? We fuel that. And on August 30th, we run that. Two powerhouse HBCUs, Howard Bison, FAMU Rattlers, one legendary showdown under the Miami lights at Hard Rock Stadium. The energy unmatched. The culture undeniable. The vibes straight HBCU. 2025 Invesco QQQ Orange Blossom Classic. Get your tickets and book your hotel now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Saturday, August 30th at 4 p.m. in Miami Gardens.
HBCU football fans, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff is celebrating 20 years this August. From Birmingham to Orlando to campus sites and now in Atlanta. The Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff has been a mainstay in HBCU athletics. 2 decades of providing a national platform on ESPN and now ABC for the finest HBCU programs in the country and some of the most talented players and coaches that have represented them. Forrest Jackson, Tariq Cohen, Javon Hargrave, Darius Leonard, Rod Broadway, Buddy Pugh, all have left their mark on this storied event. This year, we celebrate by welcoming North Carolina Central and Southern to Atlanta, which has cemented its place as the HBCU football capital. Every team who participates in this event looks to start and finish their season in the A by gaining a spot in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. That, however, is earned by becoming conference champions. And it starts right here in week 0. MEAC versus SWAC. The rivalry is real. Thank you for the last 20 years of support. The story never ends.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Want to just share some poll results. Appreciate everybody in the MyJBN online feed on YouTube for participating. The question I asked earlier, Drew, will you be attending the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta? 60% of you said no. Sadly.
Wow.
60% said no. So I'm a little surprised, but I don't know. It's early.
Tickets are available.
Tickets are available.
MEACSWACchallenge.com. Very family friendly, family affordable event. You know, you could take a family of 4 for under $150.
Yeah.
Not too many things not too many places you can go watch football at those prices nowadays.
Right. And I guess, I know we got some Southern folks, and I know we got some North Carolina Central folks in the chat. What's the buzz amongst your peers, your fans? Is Johnny Thornton leading the charge of Eagles that are preparing to swarm into Atlanta? Who do we got in there representing Southern? Is it who is it? Is it
I don't see Edwin in today.
Edwin's not in there today?
Not so far.
Okay. I'm kind of curious to see will Jag Nation show up, and how well will Jag Nation show up? So, yeah, Johnny, you need to stop worrying about us in the OBC, and you need to be worried about getting your fan base to show up in Atlanta. Because I hate to pull up statistics on SWAC versus MEAC right here in these public airways, like we were talking about earlier. Don't make me go there. Don't make me do that in public. All right, let me stop. Get in trouble here. Okay. Drew.
I know how many are coming because I can tell you how many have applied for media credentials.
Exactly. Dude, you talking to don't talk to me. Yeah, talk to that guy. That guy, he's got the data. I don't. Don't talk at me. All right. We understand. In these spaces, right? There's a level of education that has to happen whenever you're getting ready to talk about anything that you may not be familiar with, right? I think there's a level of research that happens, should happen. And I think it behooves everybody when you get into a national audience.
It could even be on YouTube. It could be on YouTube.
Well, YouTube is a national audience.
I know, but
let's not do that.
When you think national, you think of the four letters.
Yeah, but let's not do that because I don't want to have discussions about, like YouTube is not an important platform. Hell, I mean, the NFL is throwing games on YouTube. The major league franchises are throwing games on YouTube, Drew. So let's not put it all on the 4-letter network. Whenever you're on a platform that can be reached everywhere and in any, whether it be my phone or my TV remote, if I can reach it, that's national, as far as I'm concerned. Right?
That's a doggone shame. You have both of those within arm's reach, Brian.
Anyway, so where I was going with this is there has to be a level of respect. There has to be a level of let me just play the clip. And I'm gonna push back on something you said regarding the clip that sent the internet buzzing at MEAC Media Day. Rolling tape. Here we go.
With Hampton, and it's funny, man. You could tell when Hampton's in the building, high standards. Look,
we ain't gonna keep letting that go. We're not Hampton. We're the real HU. We're at Howard University.
That's my bad.
One more time, Drew. So let's watch the reactions.
And it's funny, man. You could tell when Hampton's in the building, high standards. Look,
we ain't gonna keep letting that go. We're not Hampton. We're the real HU. We're at Howard University.
That's my bad.
All right. Now, I just want to let people know, Twitter is for having fun. Twitter is for having fun. My first thoughts on Twitter when I saw that was what, Drew? You saw my instant thoughts when I saw that, right? My first thoughts. Did you see my tweet when that first?
No, actually, I didn't. I don't remember it.
I said, "Hey, I understand how Shady could get confused because Howard hasn't beaten Hampton in at least the last 20, 25 years. So there is an HU and it's Hampton. I get it. I get the joke. I mean, so I understand. But, Howard folk took that quite personally and rightfully so. They should.
16 out of 20, you should take it personal.
Yeah. Now, let me ask this. Do you think Shady McCoy did that? Was that a faux pas, slip of the tongue? Or do you think that was sort of a joke or an inside joke that maybe he was encouraged to do by maybe another head coach within the conference, one that he has played with? What do you think?
Well, he's played with two of the head coaches in the country.
I
just want to put that out there. He did. He was with teammates with two of the head coaches.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
But let's back this up, Brian. Everybody knows what he said earlier this year in about March, April, after Vic and Deshaun were hired. He openly campaigned for the Howard job, even though Howard has a coach who was in the Celebration Bowl 2 years ago. So maybe there was something there, Brian. Maybe there wasn't. We'll never know. But I will say this, Brian. No one is talking about MEAC Media Day at the level that we've talked about MEAC Media Day, were it not for the gaffe.
Okay, stop right there. I'm gonna go to task with you about that, because we got MEAC fans in the room, and sometimes, Drew, I know what we saw happening on our social media or Black Twitter, right? We saw what was happening, but for MEAC fans who pay attention, did this register for you? I did it register at all? Was it? I'm sure there were other things. Was there anything else that caught your attention from MEAC Media Day? Because if not, then I almost feel like you're validating what Drew's comment is. But did any of the, especially all the other inconsistency things that we talked about, predicted order finish, player of the year, finishing second? I mean, what? I'm curious. I really want to know. You know,
Brian, I think you ought to be polling the non-MEAC fans, not the MEAC fans, because the MEAC fans are going to care. It's the non-MEAC fans that you need to be polling about this. Brian, just think about it right here on this podcast. The MEAC is, we had one whole section on the MEAC. Normally we done with the MEAC and we moved on to another topic. The MEAC has gotten in our B block and our C block of this podcast, Brian. Why? Because we had to go and play this clip of this gaffe from the MEAC Media Day. So the fact that we are giving this more attention, the fact that when I got off of a plane on Tuesday, I had a text message, hey, can you come join our podcast? I want to talk about MEAC Media Day and what happened. I don't get those phone calls and texts until a day later. So yeah. Steve, how quick did you put that article out? He's in the chat.
All right. Here's the chat. Here's the chat question. That was chat question coming at you.
Instead of just the regular recap that HBCU Game Day would have put out, they had to put out extra additional content because of it.
Okay, here's the question. Chat room, my JBN Online. Did the Shady McCoy slip draw more attention to MEAC Football Media Day more than other MEAC news? That's the question.
A&T Roy sums it up.
That's
what MEAC school got more attention than Media Day.
That's why I said what I said. That's what I said about Hampton getting more pub than getting more pub. Okay, so
he ain't stupid.
Let's go to because coming out of that, Drew and I had the conversation. We're like, look. And I know then you had that comment from Shady, and then you had some comments made by Cam Newton. I don't know, maybe a couple days later. And Cam wasn't even – somehow Cam Newton had inserted HBCUs into a conversation that he was really he was really politicking for a job. If I'm gonna be honest with you, he was really trying to put himself out there to say, look, I see what Pat McAfee is getting. How come? What does Cam? And this is on the heel. Now follow up. This is on the heels of comments that were going viral about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, right? And you had all kinds of guys, ESPN making a story. I don't know. Was Cam working with ESPN for some point in time? Wasn't he working with First Take?
First Take. He came to Morehouse when they.
That's
had
what I thought.
Take.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess he's not anymore. I'm assuming. But anyway,
ESPN cutting people left and right.
They
fire people quicker than Trump.
So he was trying to generate some buzz and say, hey, look, you just seen how viral my and honestly, I thought the comments he had made about the Eagles and Jalen Hurts were legit comments. I don't know how they became a thing, but it all spun into Cam pitching that, hey, if you want that same kind of energy that you see Pat McAfee, well, what about Cam Newton? And I think what he was trying to say is, if Pat McAfee can get what he's gotten, I'm Cam Newton, and I'm a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm a national champion. And I went to the Super Bowl. I've been an NFL MVP, #1 overall draft. I mean, and I'm generate the kind of buzz that I generate. I think Cam was trying to, really trumpet his own horn, and somehow in all that, HBCUs got in it. And should I play the whole? It's like 1 minute and 30 seconds. Should I play the whole thing, Drew?
Let's get full context.
All right, full context. Here we go. Cam Newton on his show, 4th and 1. This is 4th and 1. This is the show that he does on YouTube. All right, in full context of Cam Newton's comments.
Cam Newton, a Pat McAfee-like deal? Oh my goodness. But you talking about the content. Which one of these members of the media is willing to go into the student section? I am. This is the sweetest gig in sports. Who can really do Monday Night Football, box office, and then turn around and be like, oh, bro, I want to do College Game Day. We box office, baby. So when you're talking about this game of football, not a lot of players are relevant in the college football space. Just as much are they relevant in the NFL space. Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar. Like sometimes in this climate, you gotta remind yourself who you are.
They gotta put the money in your hand.
And you put me anywhere, I'm gonna come out of there signing, grinding, and profiling. Since y'all don't want me, that's cool. I want to be a part of the Black College Football Game Day.
The HBCU grad, baby.
You get me to the Tuskegee, to the Savannah State, Tennessee State, the Jackson State, Oregon State, the North Carolina Central, the North Carolina A&Ts, the North Carolina A&Ms, Alabama A&M. When it comes to box office, I can show you what's interesting about HBCU.
3 games going on at one time.
Tell me about them games, Pig.
You got the football game.
Okay.
You got the band.
Okay.
You got the cheerleading team.
Okay. You ain't even talking about the steppers, the Divine Nine.
Come on now.
Man, my dog Peggy been helping me, bro.
I've been in there.
I ain't pledged, but I know a thing or two about it. My personality is lively.
Alabama A&M.
There's so much to tell about the college experience that I would love to be a part of it.
Courtesy of HBCU Game Day, this screenshot.
I mean, we heard it. We heard it, but just in case you missed it, now I'm not gonna beat him. Now, would it have been nice if he maybe meant to say Florida A&M? I think maybe that's what I think.
Review A&M.
I think he was on a roll. He was on a roll. He was preaching. Sometimes when you start preaching,
one too many North Carolinas.
One too many North Carolinas.
Right.
I think he had one too many North Carolinas in there. And so we joke because we kid. But what did he say? But it brings up. So I'm not gonna get into the whole idea of Cam coming to an HBCU near you. I mean, look, we've heard Commissioner McClellan and talking about the SWAC TV and some of the things that he wants to do with the SWAC TV. Now, I will disagree with a good friend who on Twitter disagreed with the idea.
Good friend.
Well, a good friend in these
somebody who's struggling out here to get followers, and you could call them a good friend because they put something out, something that they obviously don't know what they talking about. Because I called that person out on Twitter.
Did you really? You called her out?
Yeah, I called her out.
Okay. I thought it was okay. Take that off for a second. Appreciate the tip, Johnny. Johnny saying MEAC fans aren't interested in us. Okay. He may be right about that. I don't know. But where I was going is the idea that, and I guess my biggest objection to it was the idea that Cam Newton is too big for SWAC TV. And I'm like, why would Cam be too big for SWAC TV? He's on a show that is on the same platform, YouTube, and good. Look, again, isn't SWAC TV is about to be in the same kind of households that ESPN Plus and Game Day is going to be on, meaning it's on the internet. It's the same internet that ESPN is streaming to. It's going to be on apps. So to say that Cam Newton is too big for an HBCU platform like SWAC TV, well, I mean, that I don't understand that, you know. And regardless of whether you want to put him and associate him with, I know that the person who initially had tweeted out put us, HBCU Game Day, the 1400 collective or 1400 media, who else, and a couple other people. You know, I mean, yeah, we all do stuff, and could associating somebody like with Cam's background and energy and connections, would it be a huge plus for for whomever he decided to work with? Sure, it would be a huge plus. Okay. But at the same time, you know, if Cam really wanted to, he could do his own thing. I mean, Cam's got the resources, doesn't he, Drew? I mean, I looked at what Cam earned in the NFL. Cam could do it all by himself. He don't need us.
And let's give Cam credit for one thing. At least he ain't talking about coming and coaching us.
Oh, hey now. Taking jobs.
Because, and the reason I say that, because there's an athletic director out there somewhere who would hire Cam in a New York Minute.
All I'll say is I'll go back to my phrase, be mindful of people who want to do things with HBCUs and people who want to do things for HBCUs. Right? There is a difference. What you saw from Shady McCoy, you know, is somebody who's trying to do something with HBCUs. Because if you're trying to do something for HBCUs, you don't make that mistake that Shady McCoy made. You really don't. Now, Cam Newton, given that I believe his father, and we understand his brother, did his father graduate from an HBCU? Or at least attended? I believe his father attended at least.
I think Savannah, maybe.
I know, and we always know Kalen.
Kalen went to Howard.
So, I mean, there's HBCU familiarity in the Newton household, right? So he's not foreign to it. So I would say, obviously, for somebody who's looking to help the HBCU marketplace, yeah, thank you. You said Savannah State. You know, yeah, exactly. You know, Cam can do something for HBCUs. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. As he just said, he's trying to replicate something that Pat McAfee is getting.
Now,
well, before Pat McAfee, hold on, I'm going to finish real quick, and then I'll give it over to you. Before Pat McAfee got to where he was, go back and look at what Pat McAfee used to do. Pat McAfee started where? On YouTube, doing what Cam Newton is doing. So all Cam Newton is seeing, he's seeing
and drew big numbers on
Yeah,
YouTube.
exactly. And Cam does big numbers on YouTube. All he's doing is he sees what is happening, and he's essentially, even if he came to do something with HBCUs for a year, it won't be long. It'll be for a cup of coffee, like what Deion Sanders did. But hey, that cup of coffee and that stop, that drive-by, who knows what that can lead to, And so I don't know. Go ahead, Drew. I interrupted. You were going to make a point there.
I was going to say, EA says his older brother played at Tennessee State, which is something I did not know.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of familiarity with. So, again, I would just say pay attention to people doing things for and with, because there is a difference. And it's not hard to spot, because 2 to 3 years later, the people who were doing things with HBCUs are probably not around anymore. All right. Let's get into some things, Drew, that as we talk about how a non-HBCU person, or maybe a non-HBCU educated media person, right? How could that person come into this space? Because it is a unique space. We have over a century of history, right? Did he? No, he didn't change the logo. Stop it. Stop it. He created the logo.
What is that mascot, Steve?
Mascot. Oh, my God.
Is that a wolf?
The North Carolina A&M Wolves. Jesus, help me. That's great. That's great. Somebody ought to create. Steve, please take that. Somebody needs to create a new Twitter handle for the North Carolina A&M Wolves. If that's what that was, if that was a wolf, I would love to see that team's commentary over the course of the season.
Oh,
a mountain lion. There you go. There you go. Well, of course, it would make sense to be a lion, right? Isn't that what our HBCUs are littered with? Lions and tigers and bears.
The cat family. And Brian, at least Steve didn't pick a color. Like a green lion. Oh.
Thank you. Oh, exactly. The green mountain lions. Yeah, thank you. He didn't do that. Blue mountain lions, whatever. That's beautiful. Yeah. So, let's go into some things, Drew, as we were talking about it, because I think if you're coming from outside of the HBCU world, meaning you didn't go to an HBCU, that doesn't mean that you can't come into the space and be excellent and great if you are, the kind of professional that wants to be good at their craft. I do think it takes a little understanding of the history, because, again, I'm pointing out there's over a century of history, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's I'll take over the chat and you get into let's pull up the segment here that deals with our tips. The AD and I kind of came up with some comments, or with some here. I'm gonna stop the comments for a minute, Drew. All right, go ahead. Let's get into the PowerPoint, and let's go to 10 things to know before talking about HBCU sports.
And these are tips for those people like Shady, Cam, and anybody else who's trying to come into this space. And we want you to succeed. We want you to succeed. So we need to pull you aside and make sure that we prep you with these tips. And some of you guys may want to take notes on this. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with a little bonus one right now. We're going to get our bonus out the way. When talking about our HBCUs, don't forget about our NAIA institutions. Got a whole conference, a whole HBCU conference of NAIAs and our independent schools. Hampton is.
Can I catch you there? What do you mean, Drew? Professor Drew, what do you mean when you say independent schools? What does independent schools mean, Professor
Those
Drew?
are schools that are not in the traditional HBCU conferences. On the Division I level, we have 3. You have Tennessee State, you have Hampton, and you have North Carolina A&T, not A&M, A&T.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. On the Division II level,
Oh,
you've got schools like Lincoln of Missouri and West Virginia State.
okay.
And then you've got a whole plethora of NAIA institutions: Xavier, Dillard, Tougaloo, Talladega, Stillman. We can go on and on through the HBCU, Morris College, Bennett College. You know, there's a whole plethora.
So independent refers to outside of
the traditional, the MEAC, SWAC, SIAC, CIAA,
and HBCU AC. Okay.
All right. Yeah. You Lynchburg also.
Stop. Oh no, I gotta put that up there.
Thanks, Road Dog.
Jesus. All right. Okay.
All right.
Moving forward. Here we go.
Number 10. Know the mascots, especially the colors. Now, you must understand this. It seems like every other school's mascot is a tiger. In my conference alone, Brian, there are 5 tigers. Edward Waters, Benedict, and Savannah are just tigers.
Okay.
While Morehouse are the maroon tigers, and Tuskegee are the golden tigers.
Okay.
We have bears, Brian. We have the Miles Golden Bears, and we have the Shaw Bears.
Okay.
We have Rams, Brian.
Rams.
Winston-Salem State, Rams. The Albany State, Golden Rams.
Oh, okay.
When you go to, and this one really is going to get you, Brian. Do you know that both TSUs are tigers?
Oh my God. Are there any colors associated with those
Those
tigers?
do not have colors with them, though, Brian.
Oh, so TSU Tigers could be anybody.
Could be one of 2 schools. But you have to know this. And please put the color on it. Do not call Morehouse the Tigers. We are the Maroon Tigers. Do not call Tuskegee the Tigers. They are the Golden Tigers. You got Golden Lions over there in Arkansas Pine Bluff, Brian. You've got Blue Tigers at Lincoln of Missouri, Brian.
Wow. Beautiful.
So,
and Blue Bears in Livingstone.
And
obviously.
Blue Bears at Livingstone.
Good to know. All right. What's next?
All right, let's move on. Let's just do this is a personal thing of mine, personal pet peeve of mine. Let's give the state schools their respect. Alcorn State. Grambling State. Albany State. Fort Valley State. Savannah State. Give the state schools their respect, Brian.
North Carolina
Elizabeth
A&T.
City State. North Carolina A&T
A&T.
State. Now,
okay.
We're not gonna make you say Southern's full name. We'll let you shorten it. Southern University and Agricultural and Mechanical College. I'm not gonna make you say all that, Brian. That's too much on the podcast. That's too much for some of the alum to say. So we'll let you shorten it to Southern right there. But please give the state schools their respect.
I'm just so used to calling it Grambling when there's no other Grambling. It's just Grambling. Do I have to say Grambling State? All right. Okay.
And there you go, Brian. Southern University and Agriculture and Mechanical College.
Wow. Yeah, that is long. All right. Keep it going.
All right, let's move on. We've got Lincolns out there. We need to know which one you're talking about, and I do not mean Abraham. I need to know if you're talking about Lincoln of Missouri or Lincoln of Pennsylvania.
Are we talking about any of them? How often will we talk about either of these Lincolns?
Hey, if we talk about the Lincoln, Missouri track program.
Okay, see, I'm just at. Okay, see.
We talk about Lincoln, PA basketball.
Okay. All right. We don't talk about them a lot, but we do talk about them every now and then, right? Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Shady. You got to know the rivals. And please don't get them confused. Hampton and Howard are rivals. Please do not confuse them.
Yes, they are rivals. I know some of y'all don't think so. They have played a long time, even though like, you know, Hampton owns the H. I know they own the H, but they played a long time. They are rivals. Whether it may look that way, they are rivals.
Okay. Those two schools in North Carolina who refuse to call each other by name, the school down the road and the school down the highway, that would be A&T and Central. They are rivals.
Yeah.
Magic City Classic features two rivals in the state of Alabama. A&M is in the north. State is down south. Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. I could go on and on, but know the rivals. Don't get them confused though, and don't call one the other by mistake, please.
So wait a minute, Drew. When somebody calls Florida A&M and Jackson State rivals, is that not a rivalry?
We're not talking about those in these cases. We talk about those traditional rivals, Brian.
Oh, traditional rivals.
Those traditional rivals.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
All right. All right. This was going to really get confusing here, Brian. We've got multiple schools that have the same, go by the same letter classifications. ASU. Are we talking about Alabama State University or Alcorn State, or Albany State University? We are not talking about Alcorn State University, whose initials are ASU when we're talking about an ASU, though.
Oh, okay. Good
so
to know.
You need to specify Alabama State, Albany State. And in no case does ASU stand for Alcorn State, Hampton, or Howard. Which HU are we talking about? And the TSU, they are a university now. We haven't had institute since 1981. And Tennessee State and Texas Southern, especially considering both of them are the Tigers.
How do you like that acronym right there? TXSU or TNSU?
That's how I abbreviate it, honestly.
I do actually with Texas Southern. I do TXSO.
Yeah, I do. I do it just like Edwin does it.
Okay,
but
that's good to know.
Here's one thing to help you remember the TSUs. Tennessee is east of the Mississippi. Texas is west of the Mississippi.
How does that help me?
Which TSU you talking about? The one east of the Mississippi, the one west of the Mississippi.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I'm with you now. All right.
Here we go. Let's do a recap so far, Brian.
All right, real quick.
Our bonus one. Don't forget about the NAIs and the independent schools. Number 10, know the mascots, especially the colors. Number 9, get the state schools their respect. Number 8, specify which Lincoln. Number 7, know the rivals. Number 6, specify which ASU. Oh, I forgot about LU, Brian.
Oh, the LU.
Yeah. I didn't put it on that one, but I added to the recap. We talked about Lincoln University of Missouri, Lincoln University of Pennsylvania, or are we talking about Langston?
Langston. L's up.
So
there you go.
So we got to make sure we know all of these when you shorten your schools like this. Brian, of the top 5 so far, the first 5, give me your feedback.
Good feedback. Number 9 about the state schools are the ones that I'm guilty about not doing. I don't talk about Grambling State. I usually say Grambling, And I definitely don't throw in state after talking about North Carolina A&T. Like Ram Nation said, it's long enough already. I hate having to throw state in after it. And I'll be honest, I will admit I probably didn't even know for the longest that it was North Carolina A&T State University. I thought it was all North Carolina A&T. Yeah. But okay.
But here's the thing about Grambling State. You could be talking about the town of or the school in.
Okay.
Just in a general conversation.
I got you. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Ready to move on, Brian?
Let's move forward.
All right, here we go. Number 5. Yeah. Cam, know the suffixes for the schools. Know which schools are A&Ms and which schools are A&Ts.
Exactly. How many A&Ms? There's
3 of them.
Florida,
Alabama, and Prairie View.
You just said Southern had an A&M.
But we don't commonly call Southern by their A&M, but technically there is a 4th A&M.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to clarify here just in case somebody's confused as I might be.
All right.
Okay. You guys are funny. Adrian said Grambling ain't no state. Oh, Jesus. Chuck Hunt dropping a little history in there. Grambling, named after the Grambling family, who is white. They gave the land to founder and Tuskegee alum Charles P. Adams to start the institute. Thank you, Chuck, for adding in a little history for people who weren't aware. All right.
And Edwin getting educated out here. He taking notes.
Mm-hmm. All right, good stuff.
You see Edwin?
There we go. Hey, yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Let's go. Keep going.
All right. Number 4.
Oh boy, here we go.
Right.
This is big right here. I'm surprised this isn't higher up on the list. This is.
I need you to use your good English when saying these schools and learn how to pronounce these schools properly.
Now
it is Talladega, not Talladega. Tougaloo, not would you say Tougaloo, Brian?
I'm guilty of making the mistake of calling it Tougaloo.
It's Tougaloo.
I did that way back in the day. Yes.
The X is a Z in Xavier, not X Xavier. And as a Tuskegee alum, I have heard Tuskegee on broadcast before.
Really?
Wow. Yes, it is Tuskegee.
Okay.
Or Tuskegee.
Oh, I think I may have heard that before.
Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Norfolk, not. And I know this does not count for the people in Virginia.
Yeah, thank you. Because my people back in Norfolk,
right,
say it that way.
But if you're a native of that area, you say it how you say it.
Uh-huh.
But for the rest of you,
Norfolk.
Yes,
Norfolk. That's how my people in Suffolk say it. Norfolk.
And Israel hit it right on the head.
Oh, there we go. I hate that. Don't you hate that? FAMU. Jesus.
FAMU.
Now, this is where sports information directors come into play.
Yeah.
Because many a times.
Left one off, Brian.
Oh, well.
Manny. It's on the second syllable in Albany.
It's not Albany?
It's on the enunciation is on the second syllable. Albany.
But I can't just say Albany State.
If you say it like they say it is Albany.
But I say Albany.
Yeah, but
Albany
you put
State.
the emphasis on the first syllable when you say it.
Albany State.
Albany State.
Oh, jeez, I'm never gonna. That's the one I'll never get right. I'm sorry. I'm never gonna get. It's bad enough I had to learn how to get Alcorn right, but I'm not gonna get Albany. See, and that's the problem because Albany, Alcorn. But now you want me to call Albany, and then you still want me to figure out and remember to say Alcorn, not Alcorn. Anyway, come on, keep going.
All right, moving on.
What do you mean by this?
Though the proper short names for the schools.
Okay. Quiz time.
All right. I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
Morehouse can be shortened to the house.
Okay. Yeah.
Tuskegee can be shortened to Skegee.
Yeah.
Alabama State can be shortened to Bama State.
Uh-huh.
Things like that.
Keep
Here's
going.
what you don't do, Brian.
Oh no, I saw one more. Can Jackson State be referred to? Wait a minute, where is it? Jackson State referred to as J State?
Yeah, it's commonly called J State.
Okay, there you go.
So that's another good one.
All right.
Now, this is what you don't do, Brian. You do not call Florida Memorial FLOMO.
Don't do that anymore.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. They don't. That's long ago. That's long ago. Don't do that no more.
Long time ago.
Different generation.
Yes. Do not shorten Edward Waters to Ed Waters.
Ed Waters. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. And it's no longer a college, by the way. It's university.
Yeah. So know how to properly shorten the names, especially on the broadcast. They don't want to identify as FLOMO anymore, Edwin. Oh, you hitting it too. My bad.
Let me do that. You stay off of that. You do what you're supposed to do and let me handle the other one.
And I'm talking from experience because I found out the hard way because I grew up with FLOMO and I said it on the broadcast. And at halftime of the broadcast, the president quickly came down and corrected me.
How about this one? I didn't know about this, and I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about Alabama A&M shorten it as Bama A&M.
No, sir. You say the
Never
full
heard
name.
that. Never heard of that before. But okay, there you go. Appreciate that.
You say the full name, but you can't say Bama State.
You can't say right. You can say Bama State, but you can't say Bama A&M.
Right.
Woo, boy.
A lot of these things, these little unknown things that when you get them wrong, Brian, people let you know.
Yeah,
so
they
I'm
do.
trying to let you know now.
All right,
here we go.
Oh, this is good right here.
Oh, this is the best one. Conferences on the D1 level are the acronyms, and the conferences on the non-D1 levels are spelled out when talking about the conferences. What do I mean? The Southwestern Athletic Conference, we say the SWAC. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, we say the MEAC, not the MEAC. On the Division II level, the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Conference is the CIAA.
Or CIAA.
Or CIAA.
Right.
The historically black HBCUAC, Historically Black College University Athletic Conference, is the HBCUAC.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, we just want to make sure we get it.
I thought you were getting to your conference.
I'm saving that one for last.
Okay.
The conference where I work, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, is the SIAC. It is not the SIAC. It is not the SEAC. It damn sure ain't the SEAC.
Or the SIAC? The SEAC or the SIAC?
No. It is the SIAC when using it in the broadcast system. All right.
That's a great point because I do hear people say SIAC and I just cringe. It's cringe. I cringe every time I hear SIAC and I'm just like, oh, it just doesn't scratch some nails on the chalkboard. All right.
And here you go, Brian. This is the number one. Number one of all of them.
This will get you all the time.
This gets everybody, especially newbies.
Mm-hmm.
Alcorn is pronounced Alcorn, not Alcorn.
I like corn. Alcorn. There you go.
So here we go. Number 5, know the suffixes. Number 4, know the pronunciations. Number 3, know the short names. Number 2, know how to say the conference names. And number 1, all corn.
1 and 2 are so strong right there. 1 and 2 are strong. That's a toss-up. All corn and this SIACs, that whole thing. That's those are the 2. All right. Now
some of you guys may disagree with the order that we have them up here.
Right.
But you can't tell me that these are 10 things that you need to know.
Did we miss anything?
You guys
in the chats. I'd love to hear, did we miss anything if you were trying to educate somebody? Is there something in there that we missed? I think most of you kind of have re-emphasized a lot of the things that we've already said.
Here's a good one.
There you go. Know where the city is located. Yeah. I do think, here's a city that catches me. Like Alabama A&M is not in Huntsville.
It's in Normal.
See, I always thought it was in Huntsville, and then come to find out it's not in Huntsville. It's in Normal. I was like, where's the hell? What's Normal? Where's Normal? I guess Normal sits outside of Huntsville.
Normal is the campus.
But it sits outside of Huntsville, or is it?
It has its own post office.
See what I mean? Come on now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right. Just like Tuskegee is actually in Tuskegee Institute, Alabama.
Okay. See, there's another one. All right.
Nobody calls it that. But Brian, for those before you go on your broadcast or go on your podcast. Can I give you a couple of references? Oh my God, how did I leave that one off?
There's a good one. Thank you, Albert. Yes, do not mess up the marching band names either. And this is a good point, Albert, because and this is me being in the space, right? Whenever marching band, I always ask if I'm unsure, what is the name of the marching band again? Because there were nothing that will get you strung up by HBCU Twitter or the HBCU or fan bases. And if you mispronounce the sounds of, if you think the sounds of Dynamites or the sounds of Blackness, if you get that wrong, I mean, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So you have to know, and a lot of times why that's hard, Drew, is because it's usually, if it's in the media guide, you got to figure out it's not on a page that's like easy to find. It's like on there, maybe it's in there. You got to really do your research to make sure you know where the information about the band name is.
Yeah. Hey, put up the one about Dr. Cavillo's comment as I go to the next slide. I am so glad that you brought that up, Dr. Cavillo, because that was my next slide. See, that's why you are the dean, and you have taught me well, because my next slide is reference books to read. And this is a brand new book.
Brand new.
You can order it now. Go online, order it now. I think he's still giving you a signed copy of it.
Maybe.
HBCU Sports 101 by Ken Rashad. A Guide to Understanding Black College Athletics. This is, as Ken Rashad said, this not me. This is HBCU Sports for Dummies. But he didn't want to use the Dummies franchise to worry about copyright.
But we don't call it that. We don't call it
that.
But
you remember the For Dummies franchise with all the books.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. No disrespect. But Dr. Cavillo, I am so glad you are in here also, because after you read Ken's book and you want to get a little bit deeper analysis into this stuff, how about the book that you co-authored, Dr. Cavillo? The Athletic Experience at Historically Black Colleges and Universities. Along with the other authors there in the book. But 2 great books.
Good
that
reference.
If you want to learn about HBCU culture, that you need to have on your shelf. Brian,
great comments. Great points. Great books to have. Great books to read. Good summer reading. Good reading if you're in the airport.
On the plane.
I don't know if there's audiobooks. If there's audiobook versions, get the audiobook. A lot of apps turn the text to audio. So if your Kindle does that, or your reading app does that, you could, there's all kinds of ways in which you can consume this stuff. So
All right. Now, Brian, we're getting ready to take our final break, and I need everybody to speaking of those books, you're gonna put your books away, Brian, because after you have class, you know what you have to do, Brian. We're gonna have a pop quiz, Brian.
Pop quiz. BCSN SportsWrap pop quiz coming up.
BCSN SportsWrap pop quiz. Let's test your knowledge while y'all in here talking all this trash. Let's test your knowledge, everybody. So let's give them a couple minutes, let them go to the bathroom and get they see if they got their cheat sheets ready. Remember the cheat sheets, Brian?
Yes.
That we used to have back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah. See if they can get all those last entries on the cheat sheet before we take this quiz, Brian.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Quiz time coming up right here on the BCSN Sports Wrap with Bryan and A.D. We'll be back in just a moment.
History? Yeah, we built that. Pride? We fuel that. And on August 30th, we run that. Two powerhouse HBCUs, Howard Bison, FAMU Rattlers, one legendary showdown under the Miami lights at Hard Rock Stadium. The energy unmatched. The culture undeniable. The vibes straight HBCU. 2025 Invesco QQQ Orange Blossom Classic. Get your tickets and book your hotel now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Saturday, August 30th at 4 p.m. in Miami Gardens.
I'm returning to Clinton Parish, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Parish, we take the pain out of being heard.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Attention football fans. The Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff is back in Atlanta on August 23rd. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina Central, and representing the SWAC Southern. Join us at Center Park Stadium for a full day of tailgating, football, and bands. For more information and tickets, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Appreciate all of you guys. Please, however you're watching us, whether you're on one of our YouTube platforms or on Facebook, hit that thumbs up and the like button if you would. And again, I want to encourage everybody, if you're not familiar with the BCSN Pod Zone, go download BCSN Pod Zone on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, all of your favorite podcast platforms. Go download the BCSN Pod Zone where you can hear all of the shows from the best Black sports podcast, according to Million Podcast. And that's where you can get an aggregate of our show, the Carlos Brown Show, which airs on Saturday, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, which airs Tuesdays and Thursdays, the O&G Strike Zone on Wednesdays, and other shows coming up here as we get ready to kick off the fall season on the Black College Sports Network. So be looking out for more shows. Download, subscribe, rate, and review whenever you can. We appreciate it. All right. Any other good comments that you noticed in the chats, Drew?
Well, number one, I just want to thank everybody for, there's a reason why we are the best Black sports podcast as part of the Black College Sports Network, the BCSN Pod Zone. And it's because of you guys out there who check us out on the BCSN Pod Zone on the many different places where you can download your favorite podcast at. Bryan, I had to say this. I couldn't promote. I didn't feel like it was a good conscience to promote Ken's book without promoting one of our own book. Also, since he wrote a book a number of years ago, it's been about 10 years since Dr. Cavill wrote his book. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to promote Dr. Cavill's book along with Ken's book out there, Bryan.
Well, and let me add, when we had Ken on the show on the O&G a couple of weeks ago, Ken credited, he talked about the influence of Doc's book as being one of the only books that he found in his research that was written by an HBCU graduate. Again, not to say that someone who is not an HBCU graduate could not write a good book about HBCUs, but sometimes you can get a sense from reading the book from someone who has lived the experience versus someone who has heard about the experience.
Yeah.
Right. And so Ken is, I believe, the first book since Doc's that has been authored about HBCU sports from an HBCU grad. So right. Ken and I think he even was on did a show with Doc.
Yeah, I was on that show with him.
You were on that show. So yeah, look, I think it was only fitting that if we mentioned Ken's book, then we had to mention Doc's book. Two books worth reading, and it's always interesting. 10 years have passed from Doc's book to Ken's book. What has changed in the HBCU sporting diaspora over that decade?
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah. And one that I did leave off, I realized, Bryan, and I think our people who aren't familiar with HBCUs need to understand this. For football, the HBCU FCS National Championship game is called the Celebration Bowl. Our champions do not go to the playoffs. Our champion goes to the Celebration Bowl out of our two traditional conferences.
I'm going to get in trouble here. Part of the reason why we can say that, Drew, and again, is because we haven't really, in the Celebration Bowl era, we've never had to face a legitimate scenario in which a school outside of the MEAC and SWAC had the kind of season that was even worthy of being mentioned along with the champion of the MEAC and SWAC. Now, up until last year, where Tennessee State had the kind of 9-win season, which, who knows if they had gone far into the playoffs. they would have really opened up the conversation to that whole comment or the phrase Black College National Champion. But again,
Brian, if we ever get to that bridge, we'll have that conversation at that point in time.
I got you. So,
all right,
there you go. Goals, Aggies. There you go. You got something. There's something else that Sean Gibbs can strive to do. Okay, quiz time. Now, some of these will seem pedestrian for some of you, trivial. But for some other folks, it may not. So let's see who can be the first, quickest fingers to the draw. So, Drew, I'm going to read the question, and I'm going to let you spot and find the first person to get the answers typed in correctly.
Well, first of all, I want you to note your answer yourself first, because we're going to use the honor system on this one, Brian. And then after we get through the entire quiz, we'll come back and show you the answers. How about let's do it like that, Brian? We'll do the answers after we get through the whole quiz. They can type them in the chat.
Okay, so but you're going to have to pin. You're going to have to pin.
I will pin. I'll pin them. I'll pin
Okay.
them if I see them.
Okay, I'm going to allow 10 seconds in between each question.
Depending on them, because some of them may require a little bit.
Should I put it in the banner? Should I put a banner for each question?
No, each question is
just read through there.
Yeah, just read through the thing.
Question number 1. And there's only about
I'll go through the slide. We got slides for them, Brian.
Whoa, damn, I didn't know you had slides, Drew. Okay, Here we go. Question number 1. Here we go. Quiz question number 1. Ready? Whenever, do I need to hit the slide or you got it?
I go. I hit it.
Well, hold on. Okay, here we go.
Ready?
Go. What is the oldest HBCU conference?
You can put your answer in the chat, and I will mark it, or you can keep your own pen and paper at home.
Yeah, the oldest HBCU conference. Bonus point if you put the year. Bonus point if you put the year. You know how you get it's worth 10 points, but you get an extra 2 or 3 points if you put the year.
Right.
All right.
The answers are starting to come in, Brian. We're gonna give it about 10 more seconds.
Don't put multiples. Put the first one that you saw. Uncheck those other ones. Put the first one that came in there that was right.
I got it.
Okay.
It'll be in order.
All right, here we go. Next question. I got the slides. Don't worry about it. Question number 2. Who has the winningest HBCU football program? And bonus points if you can say how many wins. Who has the winningest HBCU football program and how many wins?
Yeah, a bunch of them came in right there together. So nobody has the number yet, though, Brian. All right. If you're talking, Brian, you're on mute.
All right, here we go. Question number 3. I didn't know you had broken it down like this. The first HBCU football game was played between, should just say whom, between what 2 schools, their original names, what year, and then what are the school's current names? You got a lot going on there, Drew. A lot going on. All right.
Well, it's everything we had in the notes. I just broke it down.
They can see it. The first HBCU football game, the year, don't have to give us the date. And more importantly, what are the current names of those schools? Somebody said get real. Hey, this should have been the fifth question, Drew. This should have been the fifth one. This is the fifth one. Hey, this is one of those ones where my kids will say, "Mr. Fulford, are you taking points off for spelling?" I say, "Do the best you can." I'm not taking off for spelling. As long as I can phonetically figure out what you're saying, you're good. Right? I got to figure out what you're saying. A lot of you are getting. I don't see anybody coming up with part A though, Drew.
I got them.
Somebody got
they got the current names.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody didn't put in, and nobody's figured out the year.
Yeah,
somebody got close there.
Brian.
I don't do curves. As I tell my kids, I don't do curves. I don't do curves, and I don't do test corrections. You get what you get.
All right.
All right, question number 4. Besides the Bayou Classic, name a classic that draws over 50,000 people annually. Oof. Oof. Besides the Bayou Classic, name a classic that draws over 50,000 annually. Ground level questions, huh? Okay. Abbreviations count. You got to go up a couple. Somebody got it up a couple of.
I can't keep up with them.
I know. Just that's why I said just do a couple. Don't do all of them because you end up going nuts trying to keep up.
Edwin,
Keywords.
No, the Turkey Day don't draw over 50,000.
Keywords 50,000 annually. Those are the two. That's the two key parts of this. Okay. All right. I think you got enough there. Let's go to the last question. You starring too many. You starring too many. Yeah, that's late though. That's late.
Yeah.
But he's
that
right.
means he had time to Google it.
He had time to Google. Yeah, exactly. You ain't fooling nobody, Rozier. You ain't fooling nobody. Okay. Last question. All right, this one will be interesting. Who has the most claimed / unclaimed HBCU football national championships, and how many? Who has the most claimed or unclaimed? Because there is a distinction, but at the end of the day, does it really matter? And how many? Oh, some interesting answers here. Don't count that because they didn't. You got to put some respect on the names. Come on now, put some respect on the names.
I don't know if I should count that one, Brian.
No, I don't think you should. Now, this is where I always fascinated by the numbers and the sourcing, Drew, because you're starting to see something interesting. Because that one's going to be interesting to kind of see, okay, where. Oh, my gosh.
Who's sourcing what?
I see. I saw one in there.
Yeah, I saw it.
The question, what's confusing? The most HBCU national championships. Who has the most? And how many? I don't know what's confusing about that.
Mary didn't have time to Google it.
She has too. I saw that. All right, let's go to the bonus question.
Give them the bonus question.
Bonus question for those, we always like to have a test.
Y'all talk about the hard questions. We're going to give you a couple points on this one. All
right. Here we go. The winningest HBCU football coach is, and you got to know the number. This is the winningest, and you got to know the number. This is all or nothing here. You got to know the name and the number. If you don't know the number, you got to have it all. you get there's no half credit. No half credit with the bonus. It's either all or nothing. So don't give anybody any credit if they don't have the whole. See, I'm seeing people throw names, but they're not throwing the number. Give me the number. What is the number? Come on, guys. This is like Hank Aaron. We should know, like, Hank Aaron, how many home runs, Drew?
755.
Thank you.
Barry Bonds, 769.
Yeah, you just got to know. You're supposed to know these kind of things. There we go. I think that person might get a.
They might get about a 90.
They've been on it.
Yeah,
that person's been on it, Drew. Okay. All right.
All right. Are we ready, Brian?
We are ready. Let's go through the answers. Question number 1 was the oldest HBCU conference is. I got it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I got the answers.
Okay, it is the CIAA 1911.
First one in was Arby Parker.
There we go. Shout out, Arby. See a few other people got in there. Yeah. Good to see. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. The winningest program, HBCU football program, Tuskegee, and we would have accepted 700 plus like Chip did, right? If you didn't know it was 719, we would have accepted 700 plus because even Drew will admit, right?
I had to go back. I knew it was 7, but I couldn't remember the number because it's a moving number.
Right. Uh-oh. See, Drew already, Ram Nation, CIAA expert has already called us out on our accuracy here. Says it's 1912. So did we miss a year or were we early?
I'm gonna have to do my research on that one.
I would tend to
see. The thing is, didn't nobody put 1912 in there, so it really don't matter when you grade it.
That's a little teacher trick. If no one knows, then you just kind of give credit to okay, all y'all got CIAA. So
I know that number right, bro.
Exactly. All right. Yes, exactly. It is 1912, and yes, 1912 is before 1913. So
which
at least
was the founding of the SIAC.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Question number 3. Appreciate you guys keeping us on our toes here. The first HBCU football game played between Biddle College and Livingstone in 1892. Biddle College would go on to become Johnson C. Smith University, JCSU. And it was December 27th, 1892. But again, we only asked for the year. We didn't ask for the date. It is interesting that the game took place in December. Now that game is called I believe it's called the Commemorative Classic. And it's the last game played of the regular season.
Correct.
Between Johnson C. Smith and Livingstone. A game that last year, ironically, cost Johnson C. Smith a chance to go to the CIAA championship game.
Yes.
So, yeah, how interesting. A game that mattered. Hadn't been like that for a while for those two schools. Okay. Besides the Bayou Classic, the classic that draws 50,000 annually, the Magic City Classic between Alabama, A&M, and Alabama State.
And we also would have accepted.
Would we have accepted the State Fair Classic? Really?
I know Magic City consistently over State Fair.
Keyword is
Magic
annually.
City.
Keyword annually. Keyword. Because look, I know there have been moments when the Florida Classic has drawn over 50, but not annually.
Not consistently.
Not over the recent years. No, not annually. It may be back to that point, but
and the Magic City and Bayou always are 1-2 every year when it comes
in the top 3.
Yes.
Because there was a period of time when the Florida Classic was drawing high 60, almost 70,000.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 5. Who has the most claimed HBCU or unclaimed HBCU national championship, football national championship? It is Florida A&M and Tennessee State. Key words here: claimed, unclaimed. It is 16. Now, Mo kind of, in his research, similar to what we have, 16. Grambling second with 15. I think it's Tuskegee with 13.
Yeah, yes.
Now, again, this is one of those ones that, because you go into claimed versus unclaimed, because not every school, some schools, that's the beauty of college athletics, is where you have entities that will recognize national champions, but sometimes the school may not recognize it themselves. And then you have situations where the schools will claim national championships that maybe other entities don't. So I'm just saying. But that's the beauty of college athletics. It's kind of one of those things. So, all right.
And the bonus.
Stop. And the bonus question. The winningest HBCU football coach is Eddie Robinson, 408. Again, you got to know 408. You have to know 408. You can't come in, you can't say 410, 405. You just got to know it's 408. Eddie Robinson, 408. Babe Ruth, 714. Hank Aaron, 755. You know what I'm saying? You just there's certain numbers, Pete Rose, 4192. You just certain numbers you just got to know, right?
Wilt Chamberlain, 100.
Exactly. Something.
Yeah. Now here's one thing for our HBCU novices. The Eddie Robinson on the screen is not related to the current Eddie Robinson that is at Alabama State University.
What? That's crazy.
And the crazy thing is the Eddie Robinson on the screen was an Eddie Robinson senior, and Eddie Robinson at Alabama State is an Eddie Robinson Jr., but this senior did not beget that junior.
Confused. But okay.
I know, I just confused the hell out of everybody.
Edwin said, but he is Eddie Robinson Jr. Look, don't get us trying to figure it out. Eddie played in the SWAC, so I don't know. His parents must have knew. That's a lot of zero. How many zeros are in that? Jesus.
You know what that number's in reference to.
Oh yeah. That number is kind of high. Okay. All right, good stuff. Yeah, there's a little known history fact. Eddie Robinson won his 300th game at Bragg Stadium. Okay, there we go. I think we have covered a lot, Drew. I know there's always more to talk about, but we've kind of gone over our time span that we wanted to do for this show. So what did we leave off that quickly you want to mention? If anything, don't feel pressured.
Bryan, some camps have opened up. Other camps will be opening up within the next week or so.
This week will be a big day for camps.
Yes. Some camps will be opening up this week, more towards the weekend and into early next week. And a lot of that is dependent on first game versus first day of school, because there are certain regulations stating that, you can start your practices within it's either X amount of days before the first day of school or X amount of days before your first game, whichever is first, whichever is the earliest date.
Right. Again, Southern, we know, is already in camp. I'm assuming North Carolina Central is already in camp because they play in 4 Saturdays. Well, 4 Saturdays from yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. And something we did not bring up today, probably get into it maybe Tuesday on Dr. Cavill's show. Did you see the latest legislation from the NCAA regarding Division II athletic eligibility?
I heard a couple people talking about it, but no. Break it down for us.
Briefly, NCAA is considering adding a 5th year for Division II student athletes. Basically, what that does, that eliminates what has traditionally been the red shirt year. You would be eligible to play that red shirt year that entire year. So you would have 5 years to, you have 10 semesters to do your eligibility instead of 8 within 10 as it currently is.
Okay.
So we'll break that down and get into that hopefully on Tuesday. Hopefully I can get a little bit more information on that. But it was something that popped into my timeline on Friday from the NCAA.
Did you we didn't talk about this. I'm reading an article on HBCU Game Day today in which Virginia Tech has responded to accusations made by North Carolina Central's Trey Oliver that a Virginia Tech assistant coach was on the sideline of a game last season in an attempt to recruit one of his players. So the comment initially appears was made by Trey Oliver at a media event on Friday. When asked about the most outrageous moment of his coaching career, he pointed to an incident during the 2024 season. Oliver said, quote, "Virginia Tech was actually on my sideline recruiting our running back. That was pretty bold. I couldn't believe it." Oliver said the moment caused a stir during the game. Several of his assistant coaches tried to calm him down, suggesting the visitor was just there to watch. He's just down here visiting, they told him, but Oliver wasn't buying it. Of course, the running back in question, well, let me just say the running back who recently transferred from Central was Jamari Taylor. And he actually transferred to University of Virginia, where he's expected to be part of the running back rotation this fall. I don't know if there's any ties to whoever that coach was that was, quote unquote, visiting. I don't know if there's any ties to him currently being at University of Virginia now or not.
I think the running back wound up at Vatech or something like that. He wound up at
I just said he ended up at the University of Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he did not go. He did not end up at Vatech. What I was saying is,
I had it backwards. Okay.
Yeah. Did that particular coach? Is he at Virginia? You know, because a lot of times players follow coaches. So the question is that coach now at Virginia? Hey, look, he may have been visiting. I don't know. Let me get out of this by reading a statement from Virginia Tech, which they released, which said, quote, "This is the first time the issue has been brought to our attention, and no concern has previously been shared with us through any formal channel." The statement read, "Virginia Tech takes all NCAA rules seriously and is committed to conducting our program with integrity. We are reviewing the matter internally and will address any findings appropriately." Now, you know, I would imagine, you know, there's probably some camera footage somewhere, you know, in these games that would show who is being referenced or who is being talked about. But, you know, look, you know, I just thought that was kind of interesting where they would look, the Power Fours are going to recruit your kid during the game, after the game, before the game, whether they're standing on the sideline or not. So, you know, All I say is follow the money. What type of money did Jamari Taylor get to go to University of Virginia? You follow the money. That's all I can say. Yes, I did notice the word formal channels, which means they're basically saying, oh, Trey Oliver is just talking, running his mouth to probably some booster group or pep club, varsity club type group. And if it was as serious as it's being alleged, right, he would have gone through the formal channels. That's what Virginia Tech is saying. And only because a news organization like HBCU Game Day has probably, did their inquiries and they have the kind of following and cachet that they have, it's probably that's the only reason why Virginia Tech responded. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it turns out to be anything or if it's nothing at all.
Hey Bryan.
Yeah.
Here's the question today: how he get on the sideline?
Well, Ali, we don't know if it's a home game or a road game, though. So
still doesn't matter. You still control your sideline.
Yeah, not if you're the visitor, though, Drew.
They could be on the other side, but they can't be on your side.
Yeah, he could. Why couldn't he been? Who was going to stop him?
You control who's on your side.
I don't think they're saying
if he's outside. There's certain areas that he could be in.
Yes, and those dotted white lines are not that far away from where players stand.
Yeah.
So it's not inconceivable that a guy could. I've been down there. You have too. It's not inconceivable that a guy could be standing 10 feet or 5 feet away from a player, talking to him. Now the question is Coach out there in a coach's polo that says VT on it, or is he just known by that player? Yeah. So
I wonder if that game occurred. Did they play at Norfolk last year?
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
We would have to go through just follow the story, HBCUGameDay.com. It'll be interesting to see because the story will come out in the next couple of days. Because obviously they're doing the research. Somebody's doing the research of what game is in question. And, is this person, was that a home game or a visiting game for North Carolina Central?
Oh, if it's a home game, somebody in security getting a piece of my mind.
Yeah, well, it sounds like Oliver was a little bit heated during the moment. So who knows? It could have been. Yeah. All right.
Let's pick up the show and get out of here, man.
Thank you to everybody for watching the show tonight. Do us a favor, again, hit the thumbs up and the like button as you exit the building. And please make sure you're following us on all our platforms on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook Live, Facebook and YouTube, as well as the BCSN Pod Zone, where you can get all of the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network. And just look for BCSN Pod Zone on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, so on and so forth. Have a great week, everybody. Continue to, we appreciate all of your support on the Black College Sports Network and the BCSN SportsWrap. And this will close season number 8 for AD and I. And next week, we will begin our 9th season in this thing that they now call podcasting. Drew, who knew when we were doing this back in the day that this was called podcasting? But it's, we were just trying to do a show.
Who knew we would be doing this for this long?
Look, hey, I enjoy working every minute with you, brother. All right.
Well, wait a minute. I see something. Do we need to hang on?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I just saw somebody pop in.
No, he's just waving. Just waving in the background. All right. Hey, thank you guys for all the comments. We appreciate love. Yes. Who's going to come out with the North Carolina A&M shirts? That's funny. Somebody will. You better jump on that quickly.
Get them trademarked.
Hey, Steve already put a logo and a name behind it. So if Steve hadn't come out with T-shirts yet, those are going to be the hottest selling things. Somebody better have that thing trademarked by Tuesday. So exactly. All right, guys. Be well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. God bless. Stay safe. Peace out.
Travel light, everybody. Wahala.
Where's the outro thing? There it is.
You stay on hard.